Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the Football Brotherhood. I'm joined by my brother Christian to react to game week 16 in the Premier League. Christian, we've just watched probably the game of the season. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm alright, mate. Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? I was not expecting that. I mean, it was a game of two halves, but Jesus Christ, that was chaos. What did you think?
Yeah, man. Obviously I'm a Red, so I didn't enjoy it, but I did enjoy it, if that makes sense. I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
desperate
Didn't
for a
want it
bit
to
of
end.
entertainment. Mate, I think the ref didn't as well. I think he
Nah, he
played.
didn't, did he? What? I
Mate.
think is I weren't complaining. He give them the benefit of the doubt because if they'd have scored with that Brooks chance, I thought,
Yeah,
well, United
yeah.
fans won't be happy. Give you another go at it. So
Mate, bit of a golden goal scenario. No, honestly,
Yeah.
let's get into it. We're going to react to every single game this weekend. We're going to home in on United City, obviously. We're going to give our biggest winners of the weekend, biggest loser of the weekend, and our goal of the weekend. We're going to do this every single Monday. So if you're watching this, you like the video, hit a like. Let us know in the comments who you support, what your result was this weekend, and we're going to react to them all now. Let's start with our teams, Christian. We've just finished. I think the game of the season, Fulham City, was a bit of a mad one, but that was an insane one tonight. Manchester United drew 4-0 with Bournemouth on the Monday Night Football. We're recording this at 10:30 Monday evening. We've just watched it. Look, I don't know where to start. Where do I start with the positives? Do I start with the negatives? You know what? Let's start with the positives. I've been negative.
First, yeah.
I've been negative all season with these guys, man, and there's negatives to take. Don't get me wrong; some of them are getting it in this little debrief. However, look, the attacking Mateus Cunha, he has been unlucky this season. He got his second goal of the season. He has deserved more than that. I think he's been better than Abumo this season, and he scored a lot less. And I thought tonight, I'm so glad he got his goal. He's got to finish himself. I'm not saying it's all bad luck. He has to take care of his finishing, but his performances tonight was one of his better ones. He was great at Anfield. This ball carried and the transition we're getting from Cunha, and also the work rate. Where was this? Doesn't work hard. He works harder than most of them. He works harder than Abumo, who was meant to be the workhorse from Brentford. So, look, shout out Cunha, man. Shout out Mount. I thought Mount was really good. Bruno did really well. I thought they were all good. Ahmad does a lot. Ahmad does everything right till the last bit. He seems to get his shots blocked a lot. He's a really nice, balanced carrier of the football, and he's so neat and tidy on the ball, and defenders back off him. But he gets blocked a lot. He picks the wrong option. He can't cross. I want more from Diallo, but anyway, look, I thought the attackers were great, Christian. What did you think about the attackers before we get to the other end of the pitch?
Yeah, very similar, to be honest. I thought my standout performance for United would have been Cunha, Bruno. I thought both were really good offensively today for United. Yeah, it's interesting what you were saying about Cunha, and I do tend to agree. I think positionally he needs to be. And one thing I wouldn't have thought I'd have been saying when he signed for United, but I feel like his awareness sometimes needs to improve. Just his final decision sometimes seems to let him down. However, yeah, in terms of transitioning the ball, carrying the ball up the pitch for United is priceless. I think he's probably your most important player, given what you've got around you. You know what I mean? So I think when he turns up, it's huge for United. It really opens up the game, opens the pitch up, gives space to your wide players. So, yeah, I think it's huge.
I think with Mbumo, I'm just going to say, I think with Mbumo leaving for AFCON as well, I think we're going to see more of the stats coming from Cunha as well.
Yeah, you would. Well, I mean, you need to. At the end of the day, Alex. I mean, if they're not worrying, I mean, we saw Sesko's little cameo, which I know. Look, the guy comes on, he huffs and puffs, but he's a poor footballer. Let's just call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? There was that little bit when he's breaking through, and I'm like, I know he was severely outnumbered, but not any United fan is expecting anything other than what he did, which is just
Christian, I don't understand, because when I did that TikTok about Sesko in the summer, it got 400,000 views on TikTok. Go and check it if you've not. I had our comments filled up with your Bundesliga experts saying this guy's the next Zlatan. So, I'd like him to make an appearance, because I see a bit of a Peter Crouch, if I'm being perfectly honest. And
with less production.
I don't get it. I would have just ran Højlund back for the sake of it for another year, then gone and got someone else. This is the thing. I said it in the summer, Christian. Sometimes it's best to do nothing. We didn't. Yeah. We spent another 60 mil on another prayer. He looks a bit Bambi on ice. Look, we'll see how it goes. Let's get to the defence, and then we'll touch on Bournemouth, by the way, because they need some props. What a great performance away from them by them. However, the defending, look, mate, Manchester United conceded 26 goals. this season already in 16 games. We are on pace to concede 60 league goals in a system that we predominantly play a back five. I don't know tonight. There was a bit of flirting with different systems.
Yeah, there was elements of everything, wasn't there?
I don't really know. Don't get me wrong. Like when we went 4-4-2 and we just flattened it out. I thought at 3-2 down when we went 4-4-2 was some of the best football I've seen at Old Trafford in 2 years. And then we went 4-3 up, and then I think the players have got to take some responsibility. They sat back, they got leggy, they panicked, and they got over the line just about. I mean, that halftime record was on thin ice. The defending, mate, either the defenders are shit or the system's shit. I'm not having it anymore. People keep telling me that De Ligt's great, Yoro's the next Rio, Luke Shaw's back, Lamond's is a very solid keeper. I agree with some of them. However, we're on pace to concede 60 goals, Christian. Which bit am I missing?
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, you can't have your cake and eat it. So if you're going to say all these players are world-class potentials, or some of them are even at that point now, because that's what you're hearing from a lot of United fan channels, then you can't have that and then not blame the system. You've got to then come up with something as to why Man United are leaking the amount of goals they are. I mean, the thing is, I will give United the props today, and it was some of the best football I've seen under Amorim. Yeah. However, mate, at the end of the day, you can't go and concede 4 goals at home. It is shocking. It's for me, Alex, if you concede 4 goals at home, you're A, very lucky to have not lost the game. So you're lucky to have walked out with a point. And 2, you don't deserve to win a game. No. You cannot. And also, come on, and I will give Bournemouth the credit. We'll move on to that. However, it was Bournemouth. You cannot be conceding 4 goals at home to Bournemouth Football Club. I'm sorry, it cannot happen. Not if you're Manchester United. And these are the questions that Amorim, he needs to answer. The leaking of the goals is terrible.
They're a bottom half team, mate. All respect in the world.
Are United, and here's my point, when we were looking at the upcoming fixtures a couple of weeks back.
Yes.
And I was sort of saying, out of the ones, I feel like Bournemouth is the one you could win, because I feel like the way they play would suit. You know what I mean? Bournemouth are a bit like Brighton. They're a lower league, mid-table, lower league side. However, they play very progressive football. They play high up the pitch. They really go at their opponents. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can be harder when it's like the Everton 10-man. They're all sat in and it's just low block mania. Do you know what I mean? It's so difficult to break down at times. So I did think it would suit you, and it did in terms of you going forward. You scored a lot of goals. But where United are at is, I feel these results are going to be what they'll be all season. I feel like you'll get one, over the line, and then you'll lose 2. And this is the pattern I see with United, and I don't really see it changing. If he does consistently move in a different direction and change the system, then I suppose we'd have to see that. But again, Alex, he needs to work out a way to stem these goals, because they're flooding it.
I think there is issues with the individuals as well, by the way. I don't think it's all system related. I think the individuals are not as good as people think. I know I did, Christian. 2%. You see our comments. We're logged in on the same social media. This is both our YouTube channel. You see the Lenny Yoro short that I posted. People didn't like it. I knew it was going to be negative. I thought Yoro was okay tonight. I actually thought it was one of his better games. I thought he was aggressive in the first half, and he sort of was doing a bit of the right back role, actually, which, in fair play to him, I'm sure he doesn't want to be out there against the wingers. But at some point, like I started this segment with the defending, I either need to hear about the individuals or I need to hear about the system, because Manchester United shouldn't be conceding 4 goals at home to Bournemouth. We shouldn't be conceding 60 goals in a Premier League season. I don't care how many you're scoring. We've had 1 clean sheet in 16 games this year. And we've got a solid goalkeeper. We've got Matthias de Ligt. We've got Lenny Yoro. We've got the remontada of Luke Shaw. At some point, I need to see something. Otherwise, I want to see him in a back 4. And if the shit in a back 4, then yes, the individuals need replacing, which I think, well, it could be the case, in my opinion. Let's touch on Bournemouth, Christian.
Obviously, just before you do, bro. On United, and I said this a few weeks back, and I think you've been playing. Look, these individuals are not good enough. Me and you are not going to come on here. We never have. Like you say, we have openly spoke about United players that aren't good enough for the football club. However, I feel like Ruben Amorim coming in playing that system, it's like playing with a handicap.
Yeah.
And that is what it's felt like since day one. It's like, look, you have not got the right tools in your bag anyway, but at least remember to bring the bag to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it feels like he's just making it more difficult. He's making a hard task even harder. And I feel like if he just takes it out, plays the players in their best positions, you will get them performances where you've got the individuals that can get you some points on the board. So you've got your Cunha, you've got your Mbeumo, you've got your Bruno that can come up with moments. And I feel like this is the direction you need to go in.
I think United have a lot of talent in the team, in the squad. I think there's talent. I think when Mainu came on, I was looking around the pitch and I've got Diallo, Bruno, Mainu, Cunha and Mbeumo all on the pitch at the same time. Okay, that's not balanced and we got diced up. I get that. But I'm looking at it and I've got technical security, I've got explosiveness, I've got goals, I've got creativity, I've got a creative machine, set piece guy in Bruno. And I'm like, there's talent in this United team offensively. However, you cannot be the fifth worst defence in the league, man. This is Manchester United. Lenny Yoro, 60 million. Matthias de Ligt, 40 million. Mazraoui, 12. Le Mans, 15. Dorgu, 25. At some point, that's in the last 2 years, by the way. This isn't like we've let it rot, that's the thing, innit? The squad's rotting or something like that. Mate, we have replenished this defence.
Yeah.
Lisandro Martinez was signed three years ago, bro. So, look, mate, I think let's give Bournemouth some flowers and we'll move on to City and then we'll get into the rest of them. Appreciate we have some other people who are tuning in to listen to our reaction to their team this weekend. So let's get it. Bournemouth, brilliant. Semenyo, another goal, took it brilliantly. Constant threat. Clivert, I thought was really good. I thought Evan Nielsen was a pretty solid player. I was surprised to hear that was his second goal this season.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah,
because I thought he was a very good Solanke replacement, but obviously, I don't know. I bet Bournemouth fans are probably thinking, "Christ, was he a one-season wonder?" I mean, obviously, look, they can't defend either. But I tell you what, if you're an away fan and you're travelling up on a Monday night from down south to watch Bournemouth at Old Trafford and you see 4 goals go in and you miss a 1-on-1 in the last minute to win it 5-4, you're going home happy, right, Christian?
100%. And the free header as well from Brooks. Ironically, both from the same player. You know, they should have probably got all 3 points there. And yeah, I think you make a good point. Look, I've been in that position where I supported Manchester City when they were, you know, a low league side, mid-table at best. We were poor. What was good is when, I don't know if you remember when we signed all them Brazilian players and we had Pep, what's his name? Sven came in.
Alano.
Alano, Giovanni. We got a few in at the same time, and you know what? Just seeing your team, you know you're not at that level to break into Europe or any of them things, but seeing them progress and play some good football, have some really good days out, it's priceless. So yeah, no, fair play to Bournemouth, and again, it's a team I like, a bit like Brighton as well. I like the fact they'll go anywhere and give it a go, and it can make for them outlier results where, you know, they could concede in 3 minutes and it can end up 4 or 5 quickly. So I get there's a balance, and sometimes you'd rather go a 38-game season, maybe pick up 10, 15 more points, but you've got a shit house every single game. Personally, I like the Bournemouth, the Brighton sort of methodology, but yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's one of them. But no, I thought they were impressive today. Serious fight back. They've got some good individuals as well. Tavernier, excellent. What is it with that name, man? That Tavernier. Why are they all mint at set pieces? The one in Scotland scored about 160 career goals.
I thought Tavernier was outstanding tonight. I thought he was absolutely class in that deeper role that he's been playing. I mean, you know, look, we don't get to watch teams all the time. They come to your ground and you see players, and I was impressed with him. I know Clivert, I know Evan Nielsen, I know Semenyo. I thought he was really impressive tonight.
Yeah.
So look, man, shout out Bournemouth. I thought you made absolutely great effort tonight. Probably should have won it, but the chances at both ends, man. That and Mbeumo chance. I mean, it was just madness. I mean, what was the XG tonight? What, 7 versus 7 or something?
I mean, it was high. It was high at half time. And I mean, I've not checked like post game, so yeah, it must be ridiculous. But I think Bournemouth, the good thing is when United, it was weird because the game, it was quite similar how they turned it round. They equalised and took the lead within about 5 minutes. Don't quote me, but it felt like that. Then United did the exact same thing to them in probably even less time. It felt like 2 minutes when you turned it round. And both teams did well to not absolutely obliterate themselves. Do you know what I mean? Because it can be damaging, and they both fought back. It was the best game of the season so far. It was absolute chaos. Like I said to you just before we came on air, Alex, it reminded me of that City game with United years back, and Michael Owen got the winner in the last minute. But probably
No,
worst ever game in my life. But
yeah.
it reminded me a bit like that, mate. It was just constant fight back. I think Bournemouth, they've got them individuals who can create, and their heads aren't going to go down. If they can keep all the Semenyo, I mean, that's huge for them, and it's so exciting.
Yeah, look, it's a great advert. That's why we love the Premier League. And we had the 5-4 Fulham City game. We had that tonight 4-4. Should have been more. Both teams should have scored more than 4 tonight, which is wild. I mean, it could have easily been 6-6, right? Great game of football. I enjoyed it. There's issues with this United team, but the bottom line is, I said to you, Christine, a few weeks ago, I just want to see a 3-3. I just want to see my team. Like, honestly, when it was 4-4-2 and we had a good crack, I was sat there on the edge of the seat in my lounge and like absolutely buzzing. And I wish I was there tonight. And I haven't thought that all season, to be honest, where I've gone in a Ruben Amorim game. It wasn't perfect, but I wish I was there tonight. I wish I was there. I wish I took my son there tonight to experience it.
Yeah, that feel-good factor has been lacking for a long time. And especially under that manager, I haven't seen enough of it. Do you know the only times, Alex? And even when people could quote these and they go all the Europa League run, but watch the games. You were moments away from going out to Lyon. You know what I mean? There was a lot of them moments that just went in your favour, but was there actually that feel-good factor, or was it just bailouts? Tonight was actually a change in that direction. United need to keep this going, but they need to implement in some sort of format to make this sustainable, because, like we say, it is a huge problem, the amount of goals you are leaking, and to the opposition you're leaking it to. I mean, Alex, we'll talk about your up-and-coming fixtures, but that is quite a daunting thing when you look at who United have got. It's going to be tough.
Christian, we've got the second best attack in the league, mate.
Yeah, which is just...
And Mateus Cunha, who in my opinion is our best player, offensive player, has got two league goals. We've scored 30 league goals. Arsenal, runaway league leaders who we're going to come to in a minute, have scored 30. Manchester United and Arsenal scored the same amount of league goals this year. One is meant to be heavy title favourites. One was the worst attack in the league last year. And Mateus Cunha hasn't come in and got 10. He's got 2, as good as I think Cunha is. So look, massive positives on the offense. But he has to find something. You've got to keep tweaking. You've got to improve the personnel at the back. But what a game, man. What an advert for the Premier League. I enjoyed it. Hope you all did in the comments. Let us know.
I think, Alex, that's the shame, isn't it? Just before we move on, when you were talking then and you were saying about Manchester United, and in terms of going forward, you do create a lot. I mean, look, neither of me or you are big XG fans. If there's any new listeners, it's not something we lean on a lot. But, it was intriguing when you're looking at how high their numbers are on XG at the start of the season. And you just, it goes to think, like, if you didn't spend the money on Sesko, who we all know is not going to work, you know what I mean? We all see that guy's ability. I'm not getting at him. He just is what he is. Now, if Man United would have either just kept the money in the pocket, look, there's nobody on the market right now. It's a bit dry. Let's just bide our time and we'll see what's there in maybe Jan or maybe in maybe come summertime. That could be huge, because if you can start converting, then you're already scoring. What could that take you to? If you add a 20-goal a season striker into that team, all of a sudden, it's close points proximity at the top of the table anyway. That could really bring United on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're just a mad team, man. I don't really know what to make of it. Like I said, we've scored 30 goals. We've scored 30 goals in 16 games.
That is surprising. It is surprising, that.
And we got a goal. The City have scored 38.
Yeah.
Okay, 8 goals is a lot. I'm not saying it's close, but you have got Haaland, and we got Erling
Haaland. So,
look,
to even be within touching distance is good.
What an unbelievable game! Look, let's see how things progress. Villa and Newcastle up next. I can't wait to see them. Let's jump over to your team, and then we'll get on to the rest of the Prem, because there was some great games this weekend. Some great wins, some great goals. Christian City win 3-0 after a tough away game at the Bernabeu. It felt like a banana skid of a game, and the first half was very tight, but City are getting through these moments and then generating their own moments, and just being very efficient, I think, in both boxes particularly. I'm guessing you were absolutely buzzing, because I assume that you were going into this thinking this could easily be a draw or a loss.
Yeah, so I'm not going to switch my energy up just because of the result. I predicted a draw, if I'm being honest, or I wouldn't have been surprised at a loss, and that's not because I doubt my team in terms of where we're at. It was coming off the back of a brilliant win in Spain at the Bernabeu. But it's a tough ground to go to. Pep's always said this. Even, Alex, even when we had City Centurions or treble winning season, it is always a tough ground to go to, Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
It's hemmed in. They're a good side. They always have these neat players who can hit you on the break. And look, they did quite a few times. We were caught in possession. Nico Gonzalez I thought was a little bit sloppy. I'm not going to get at him too much because he has had a good season and he has stepped in well for Rodri. But I feel like me and you touched on this. He does take too many touches on the ball. And when he's facing his own goal, I feel like this is when it's at his worst. And he does get dispossessed way too many times for me and puts us in a bit of jeopardy. He did get away with it. Donnarumma has changed things for us. Obviously, he's such an imposing figure that you have that little bit of an insurance policy. And I feel like that has helped us massively and got more points on the board. City in general, though, you were right in the words you used. We're efficient. I think we're clinical. So, yeah, we've got them individual moments. And I remember at the start of the season, Alex, and we were talking about City's expectations. And, some people were insulted that we were put in a top 4 race. I said, no, that's nonsense. At the end of the day, you've got to entertain that because you're hanging your hat on a load of things that you just want to come right, but you have no real evidence. So Phil Foden was coming off the back of a poor season by his own standards. It wasn't horrendous. That was made a lot more of than it should have been, by the way. But it wasn't a good season by Phil Foden's standards. Now, I said Phil Foden needs to be back to his best, and I'm talking like PFA Player of the Season best. We're seeing signs of it. We need Cherky to come in, who obviously we just signed was a complete, fresh, new entity. We didn't know what we were going to get. We needed Cherky to come in and fill that void of Kevin De Bruyne. Now, I'm not saying for a moment he's doing that, but Cherky, Foden have genuinely got a relationship building now where I've seen signs of it from the start of the season, even when Cherky was just coming off 5-10 minutes here and there. It's looking like they have got a legit relationship. So that looks brilliant. Also, you've got Haaland, who is just what more can we say? The guy's a fucking freak. He will just score and score and score and score. God knows how many he's going to end up with. I heard Cara on, I'm not sure when it was, but I heard him on a clip on YouTube, and he was saying, I think this could be the best version you've seen of Erling Haaland. His first season, he may not hit the heights in terms of the goal scoring, which, to be fair, I think he's going to be there or thereabouts. Even if he doesn't get the goals, his overall play, his general play has gone up levels.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you on a load of points there. And I was thinking about Foden this weekend and why I'm sat there thinking City look better placed than Arsenal to go and win the league right now. I appreciate there's a long way to go. But Foden's a massive part of that. And coming into the season, I did not have, although I did make my prediction before you signed Donnarumma. But I'm not going to bail out on what I said about City. I, at the time, believed that your offense was not good enough. And Foden has returned to form and he's getting goals, man. And I think that's huge for City. And I look at the attack between you and Arsenal, who we're going to come to, and I think that City's attack is playing considerably better. There's more cohesiveness, there's more goals, there's more creativity. And in a season where the way it's looking, 84, 85 points might be the figure. Mate, Arsenal, you've tossed this 7-point lead away to 2 now, is it, Christian? It was nearly fucking even.
I mean, Alex, if you look at their fixtures, we will fully do. Yeah. Obviously, we'll do a bit on Arsenal, but I think
we're going to come to them. No, I do. Yeah. We'll come to them. They deserve their own segment. But no, I thought it was a really good game. Just let's touch on Palace, Christian, because I thought Adam Wharton was absolutely brilliant on Sunday, and I thought he really. He just showed the full Arsenal of his abilities. On the ball, the passing, unlucky to not get an assist twice, those 2 passes in behind. Brilliant. Brilliant ball playing. Taking it under pressure. Got that first 5, 6, 7 yard burst pass plays.
Nearly backed himself as well.
Nearly. Did he hit the post? Was it him hit the post? Yeah. And then you have the tackling, the work rate. I think he's a top player. I know Elliot Anderson seems to be the flavour of the month at the moment. Yeah. And for me, Adam Wharton should be starting next to Rice in the summer. But that's an episode maybe on its own. But just a quick word on Adam Wharton, Christian, on his performance Sunday.
Yeah, Adam Wharton. I've been a fan of Adam Wharton for a long time. City have flirted with him endlessly. I don't know. Now it seems to be like you said, the flavour of the month. We're now getting linked with Elliot, with Anderson from Forest. But look, it's expected, isn't it? This happens every year, and it's another English player that's 100 million for little cause. But,
yeah, he's very good though.
I do like Wharton. If they can keep hold of him, I mean, they've got a couple of these. If they're looking at keeping Gay as well, but I think that looks writings on the wall.
He was the other one who I thought had a great game. So I think he's a top player.
That's what I was meaning. I was going to shout at him.
Go for it. Yeah.
I think with Gay, he's a really good player. And I think he's going to be key for England as well going forward. Because if you look at the hole we're losing in the back line, we've always had John Stones like a nailed on. John Stones just isn't John Stones anymore. Physically, the guy's past him. I feel like they're going to try and roll him out because I think Tuchel has a good relationship with him.
You could be looking at Concert and Gahey in the summer, mate. And I'm not. I've not got.
It should be, in my opinion. I think Concert has been incredible. I've not
got Fitz. I'm not having Fitz about either.
No.
I think he's a top player, and both English lads, and I thought they were their best two players yesterday. I thought Kamada had a decent game as well. They lacked the finishing. They weren't very composed. The guy who hit the crossbar in the first half, he just didn't convince.
I think the one thing, the one thing I'll say about Palace, Alex, is on another day, they could go 2-0 up, and that is just facts. Look, City were clinical, they were not. That is pretty much the story. And I think this leads to what I was saying. City have got that individual magic. And I think that does bail us out a little bit. The one thing, I'd just like to give Ryan Cherky a shout out, by the way, because, he has had a little bit of criticism, and fair enough, at the start of the season, it's tough. He comes in and he is a bit of a throwback player where I don't think the guy really gives a shit. He strikes me as a guy where he just likes to play football, and he plays football his way, unapologetically. And I actually rate that. You're going to get some games where it's frustrating, but I tell you what, there haven't been many recently. I think he's been fucking superb. He is leading the assist table along with your boy Bruno. I think that's insane. Wow, if you put in the amount of minutes he's actually had, it's crazy.
Just on that, can I just jump in on obviously we had the Rabona the other week, and I just think it's a word on the whole XG data wankers that are taking over this sport. We know who the main culprits are. Where everything that's like got an XG of a decimal, you do that, you pass there, you do not cross that in that instance, you take long throws, you swing corners in over the goalkeeper. You know what? Isn't it funny how, I didn't even know that, but he's got, and Bruno as well, to be fair, those two guys don't pay attention to the data. I can guarantee they don't give a shit what their pass completion is. And Rabona crosses.
We know Bruno doesn't.
Well, no, he definitely doesn't. But I tell you what, isn't it refreshing that the two guys who don't give a shit about the fucking computer have got the best assist numbers in the league, and I think that's great for football. Great for City, obviously, and fair play to Chucky. He's been a lot better than I expected, and I think that the combination play and how City can carry him in games away at Palace, I think that's a massive, massive win for City in more ways than one.
No, 100%. I think City, we're in this weird transition period, Alex, and obviously we have always had a nailed on midfield. Now we kind of need a situation where we can afford to let Cherky, Foden have that freedom. Therefore, for that to happen, in an ideal world, you get full fit Rodri back and Reinders kicks on. Now, if that does happen, City will go and win the league. In my opinion, I will go as far as saying this, Alex. If Rodri comes back at even close to what he once was, I'd say, I'm talking like 60-70%, Arsenal are done. There's no chance, because City are better offensively. They have absolutely... They are a car that ran out of fucking petrol 25 miles ago, and they're just like spluttering to some sort of finish, but they're nowhere near the finish. We're halfway through, and they look fucked.
It's a great segue into Arsenal, Christian, and I think
Alex, I said it to you. Yeah, let's roll on that. I said it to you about Arsenal, and I don't think you can win a Premier League with the way they are trying to win it. Now they have the ability, and this is why I get the frustrations of people like Lee Gunner and a few more on YouTube who I think call it out for what it is. I think you see in 20-minute spells and you're like, fucking hell, Arsenal can really play sometimes. They remind me of an older version of City at some points when I'm watching them. But then they revert back to this nonsense with Arteta. And it must be the most frustrating thing.
Is it... this is a really interesting point here on Arsenal. So obviously they scraped past Wolves 2-1, 2 on goals last minute as well. Like Wolves were very organised. I watched Wolves a week ago against Man United and we should have scored 10. They couldn't pass the ball 10 yards. They had no organisation. They come to the Emirates. They set up with 2 banks of 4, actually a 4 and a 5, really. And Arsenal couldn't create. Now, I know what you're talking about with Arsenal. However, is this a case of the personnel struggle against low blocks? Is there elements of that in this Arsenal team that when Bayern come to the Emirates and play a bit, when Atletico Madrid try and play a little bit, your Sakas, your Odegaards, your Ezes, your Martinellis, particularly him, by the way, look better. And then you get a very poor side. They're one of the worst teams in Prem history. Come and they put in 10 men behind the ball, they hit you on the counter-attack, and they're toothless. They can't have a shot on target in 45 minutes. Is there as much Arteta issues as there is personnel where it's like, I need my space, I want to transition? Is that an element as well, Christian?
I'm glad you brought this up because, I fully agree. I think that there is a huge personnel problem, but the manager picked this team. The manager has spent a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? So it ultimately, the buck stops with this dude. He's picked what he wanted, and it's not working. I think when you talk about these low blocks and these teams that come and make it difficult for you, and I see some Arsenal fans, by the way, whinging, that fucking idiot Julian, talking about, the Premier League, Alex, I don't know if you've seen this guy's interview, don't put yourself through it, I'll just summarise it. He basically said, the Premier League should be refined, there should be less teams in it, because teams like Wolves who come and don't attempt to win matches is a disgrace. I tell you what, you're a fucking retard, because we're not all blessed with that we can go and spend $1 billion. Now, I know it's ironic, a City fan saying that, but I'm just saying I understand the league and the way it works, that these teams have got to go there, they've got to try and do something for the away support. If that means they shithouse a little bit and they try and get a little goal here and there, they're well entitled to do that. What do you think? They're just all going to play to help you so you can score because you need it. Because going back to your point, Alex, yes, there is a severe personnel problem. Have they got any players that can break over 15 goals in that team?
No, they haven't. Can I just touch on that guy's comments? Obviously, I've not seen it, Julian, and talking about what opposition should do. So focus on your own team. Yeah. You're at home. Do you not think Manchester City face low blocks? Exactly. Sorry. Do you think you're the first team to play at home against a relegation team and face a low block?
It's so arrogant.
Your players just can't fucking unlock it, and your manager has no idea how to set them up to unlock it. So you want to look in the mirror, mate. If you can't break down a team that's conceded 35 goals in 16 games, and you're complaining about the Premier League having 20 teams instead of 19, you're a fucking moron. But you make a great point with the goals, and I want to talk about Martinelli. Christian, I don't know, I've never asked you this question, but I can answer what my answer is with this. My least favourite genre of football players is wingers who cut in and shoot badly. Consistently, they have no care for their striker. People can laugh at Gyökeres. He's playing in jeans. He doesn't look fit. He doesn't look like he's very good. Fine, I accept all those points. However, I want my wingers to create. Martinelli, you ain't Robin, bro. You ain't fucking close. You need to create for my striker. You need to look for Gyökeres. You need to create. Where can you cross the football, mate? You're a left winger in the Prem. Can you cross the ball? I'm sorry, like Garnacho, Martinelli, these players are horrid. How did they get to this level? It's the worst genre of footballers in the world. How this ever developed at young level where you've got wingers who can't cross, who can't shoot, but cut in and shoot repeatedly and get 3, 4, 5 goals a season. Mate, he's a disgrace. And look, Gyökeres might be shit, but his wingers do nothing for him. Martinelli was a disgrace on Saturday. Running down dead ends, shooting from the byline. Honestly, awful. Makes me feel sick watching him.
You are right, Alex. That genre is pathetic. And it's getting fed by people that just allow it. For instance, you've got your Garnachos of the world. Very similar, your Savinhos. We're allowing that, well, me and you aren't. But these fans that hype up these dog shit players, you give them the freedom to do this endlessly with absolutely nothing coming back at them, no criticism, and they can happily go along and get 2, 3 goals a year with this same shit. Cut in, drop a shoulder, shot gets blocked 9 times out of 10, or it balloons anywhere other than the back of the net. It is not good enough. These players, I tell you what, I don't know how. Like I said this when we first started, Robin was the best and the worst thing to ever happen in football. because he's the only guy that could bloody do it. Well, Riyad Mahrez as well. There's a few. Obviously, Gareth Bale. We can keep going.
But they're elite
they are outliers,
footballers,
Alex.
yes.
And these guys who should know their ability, and they should be made aware that they're not capable. So, for instance, I can go off Savinho. Savinho scored 1 Premier League goal in the last year, 2 seasons, up to now, season and a half. Now, the staff at City should be working with him and going, right, I think we need to go in a different direction. Your crossing should be something we can concretely work on, because we know now you're not going to be a 15-goal-a-season winger. With that ship has fucking sailed. So stop, rinse and repeat in the same process. Why don't we get you to a point where you can get Erling Haaland and you can get 12 assists a year out of him? Because then you actually are an asset to the team, my friend. Doing what you're doing, you're not an asset, you're a hindrance. And all these players are. They're an absolute dreg. And I can't believe it keeps going on. And Arsenal have got too many Alex. And do you know what? I'm going to put someone else in this category, and a lot of Arsenal fans won't like it. Bukayo Saka, I think it's about time we start having a word about this boy, because he hasn't impressed me for a while. He does come up with the odd moment in a game and the assist. This guy goes through 90 minutes way too comfortably for my liking. You know, they talk about Arsenal fans get lauded up and they get so emotional when the comparisons between Phil Foden come about. Now, you all absolutely hammered Phil Foden for that terrible season. He still finished on more Premier League goals than your winger who takes penalties, and Foden doesn't. That is pretty damning. And the general performances, I don't know how they're not alarmed with Alex at the end of the day. For me, he is a winger that is that breed, where it's like Salah has created that situation where, you know, he can do what he wants. Salah was getting 20, 30 goals a season. That guy takes penalties and he is struggling to break double figures. He's getting 6, 7 goals.
What's the difference between Amad Diallo and Bukayo Saka?
There isn't one. In terms of, he has got a better end product in terms of his delivery, but if you're talking about end products with his finishing, no, it's about the same. I mean, and by the way, I would
argue Diallo is a little bit fleeter across the ground, maybe.
Yeah. He's quicker at least. This is another thing with Saka, another thing that Arsenal fans should be concerned about. And I do think I will give him a little bit of a day off on this one, because I think, again, this is where I've come at Arteta. He's flogged him into the ground. The guy does not look like he can beat a man anymore. How many times do you see now Bukayo Saka actually square a man up and try and take him on?
No, they look leggy across the pitch, Christian. I text you, Declan Rice looks absolutely shagged out. Look, major concerns for Arsenal. Look, we've got to jump on to the next fixtures, Christian, because we've got a lot to get through. But major issues every game. You said about the fixture list. I ain't even looked at the fixture list for Arsenal, because I know every single game they've got coming up is going to be tough, because they can't blow anyone away.
They have got some nasty
ones.
But
Christian, don't matter. They have the worst.
Every game is tough. I mean, Everton they've got next. Do I think they're winning that away at the new? I don't know what it's called, but
they're in full on slogging out territory. And you said it perfectly. We're 16 games in.
Yeah, you shouldn't be at this point. I mean, look, usually they wrap up the league, you know, the half the season trophy. I don't even think they're going to get that this year. I think City will be top by New Year.
I agree. I look. I mean, they've conceded 10 now. They were on pace to break that Chelsea record. They're nowhere near it. They're going to be past that Jose Mourinho record at halfway point. So they've started chipping.
Just before we move on, Alex, just on that, and you brought it up, and I thought it was a great point in terms of their lack of goals and how they are struggling to get anything over the line anymore. And it really is week on week now. You don't know who you're turning to for the goals. Now, they've got Victor Gyökeres, and obviously they all buzzed off that signing. He's clearly not working out, and I'm not even getting at him too much. He isn't the player. Alex, we both warned everyone about this. You know, we get shit everywhere. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, they all batter us. No, you sign from these leagues. It is an ultimate lottery ticket. Yes, you can win, but most of the time you lose. And ultimately, that looks like what has happened. There was something I wanted to say, though. I do think they could be helping this guy a lot more than they are. Especially when they're playing Trossard, they're playing Martinelli, they're playing Saka. Do you know the player that helps them the most in terms of if they were playing Victor Gyökeres and to try and get this guy some form? Madueke. I'm not even joking. Yeah. I think Madueke and Eze would be key in that. Odegaard, I think, needs to get some criticism here as well, Alex. I think I saw a highlight of this guy, and off the ball, Gyökeres is making runs, and he could have been put in one time that way, another time that way, and Odegaard ignores both runs and plays it out wide. And I feel like they're in this horrid rinse and repeat. Well, we give it to the wingers and we let them fuck it up. And that is where they're at.
You said Bruno and Cherky are the top 2 assist getters in the league. I know Odegaard is nowhere near it. And I know why, because he cares about his pass percentage completion, and Cherky and Bruno don't give a fucking shit.
Alex, do you think that's a problem? Because I wouldn't actually pin all that on him personally, because I can't imagine a Premier League athlete caring about what data says unless it's getting shoved down their throat and they're being made to worry about it. Which, let's be honest, Alex,
they're a data-driven club.
Are Arsenal the most data-woke club? Without looking at behind the scenes, I would guess they do all the shit that's like they'll do the wasting time before the corners because somewhere some guy behind the scenes on a laptop with glasses on has gone, no, it works. You'll win more games if we do this. They also boot the ball out long and put it straight out for a throw in. They do all the shit that you're going to talk about Premier League teams experimenting with.
The computer tells them your XG goes up by a decimal. You had Declan Rice spanked in 2 of the best free kicks I've seen for years against Real Madrid. You know what the set-piece coach on the touchline was saying before Declan took those free kicks? He was telling him to cross.
Yeah.
He was telling him to cross the ball because they work off data. The fucking wankers. Look, I don't want to cheer City on, but honestly, City would be a more deserving winner at this stage unless they have some sort of shackles they can take off. They've no idea. You said it perfectly. They're already in slugging it out zone. And what are they? They've only got a 2-point lead.
Alex, you've watched your team when you've seen some great Manchester United sides win Premier Leagues. I have likewise seen my team have some great sides that have won the Premier League and won 4 in a row. But that would be one of the worst in recent memory. I don't know where we'd have to go back to, and I suppose people would point to Leicester. And I'm not talking about the individuals of Arsenal. They have got some very good individual players. I'm talking about collectively how they play week in, week out. It would be one of the worst Premier League winners.
If Arsenal just balls to the wall with the attackers, didn't fill their heads with XG and XA and then fucking all this other shite that they bill them with, and we're just like, play in transition, play quick, hit Gyökeres when you can hit Gyökeres. If you can get shots off, feed your striker, they would be better offensively. And they drum it down to numbers and they piss me off, basically. And every single game is going to be tough for them. And you're right. New Year's Day, they will not be top of the league bucket. And any Arsenal fans, mate, hit us up in the comments. How fucking pissed off must you be? You've got a talented squad. The bench is good. So I don't know what the excuse is. Let's get to 2 other teams that were competing. Well, one came into the season favourites. It hasn't worked out that way in Liverpool. The defending champions, they were a 3 p.m. kickoff against Brian Christian.
Yeah.
Got a massive 2-0 win after the Salah fallout, which I think Slot has handled really well. And I think he's shown leadership and he's shown that nobody is bigger than Liverpool Football Club. And I think that's a massive deal. They are structurally flawed, Liverpool. This isn't going to be, there's no remontada this season. No. They've not spent the money very well. I'm sorry, I mean, look, at the time, I thought they did. It hasn't worked out that way. You've signed from leagues that you don't know what you're getting. Alexander Isak is the biggest mystery to me. Physically looks really fucked, and he cannot transition from being a Newcastle player to a Liverpool player. So that's where I'm at. Look, good win, Christian. I mean, is there much else we can really talk about with that? They needed the win. They got the win. Salah got on, and they had their little happy send off before he goes off to AFCON.
Yeah, I think. By the way, just to touch on Salah, and I do agree with your point. I think a lot of Liverpool fans, you can become a bit emotional, and you're obviously maybe not satisfied with the manager and a lot of his decision making right now. But let's not forget he's doing the right thing here. You know what I mean? You've got to hold these guys accountable. Salah came out and his comments didn't make sense. He said, I'm not bigger than anyone at the club, but I've done enough to, prove my position. I'm not fighting for my position here. I've proved my point. And it's like, you can't have them things, mate. That I don't like that. And to be honest, I don't think he should be playing for Liverpool too much longer. And I don't think he will be. I think it's hit a point where Salah obviously has a a very large ego, and I don't feel like he's recognising where he's at in his career. And we've seen this time and time again, Alex. You can't blame these guys. They are supreme athletes. They have hit heights that we could only ever dream of. And sometimes it's tough to let it go and recognise you're not maybe that same player anymore. And I think that's what's happened. But Liverpool, yeah, it didn't feel like a bounce back that I'm going to think the second half of the season could be some sort of push. You know, ironically, they're not that far away. So it's not unrealistic. The Prem is so close together that really, if anyone wants to throw their name in the hat, I'll let you do it. I'll tell you why I don't think it's possible. But everyone can do it. Do you want to have a go, lad?
I might sit this one out after the basketball game I've just watched. They're 10 points off Liverpool. Look, they've won 8 out of 16 games. I think they are what they are. I do think that Salah going, I think it might help Wirtz, all jokes aside. But by the way, bro, you need to get rolling, mate. You've had 15 league games. You ain't got a goal and assist yet. I've seen, look, in 16 league games, a lot can happen. We just had 8 goal scorers tonight at Old Trafford. Where's your goal, mate? Diogo Dalot scored this season. Harry Maguire scored this season. I need to start seeing an assist. You're an attacker for Liverpool, who are 7th.
Yeah, I think the thing is with Wirtz. Look, I've seen some signs when he's, but ultimately these signs have been either when he's on international duty. And he's playing lesser quality, or he's been in the Bundesliga. At this point, I would be hugely concerned, mate.
Because I think he's a flop.
They have spent the war chest on this young lad, and to me, I think he's going to become what they think they were buying? Honestly,
I think it's Kagawa.
I think. Look, he can be a neat little player in actions.
Yeah.
I think physically,
so is Kagawa.
Yeah, exactly. I think physically, the guy, he just doesn't seem up to it. And you think Germany have done this en masse, so they've always churned out these players which can do this. If you look at Goetze, if you remember him, Goetze was quality, by the way, but he was physically a bit lacking. And they do tend to produce these guys.
Goetze would have been the one that would have struggled. Royce would have been good. That's a great example, Christian. I totally hear you. Look, mate, I think Liverpool can chuck their hat in top 4 because of like you said, the league table. They can forget challenging. No way.
No, I don't see it.
Chelsea.
But just a shout out to Hugo Ekitike. I thought he took his goal as well. I think he's going to be key. If they're going to start kicking on, look, they spent the war chest on Alexander Isak. This guy, he's still on his summer holidays. That kid.
Yeah.
He ain't turned up. My God, he looks physically fucked. Another one. I don't know what they've been doing, but he's not up to it. Ekitike, he's one of them guys where he is a bit of chaos. You don't really know what you're going to get in terms of end product sometimes, but he will always give it 100. I do like him, if I'm honest. I just think they need to implement where you're going to play these guys all the time. And I think Salah going to AFCON actually helps them. I do agree with you. They can put something in. Look, this is your best 11. You go week in, week out, and you try and build. City sort of did the same thing. It's just like, right, stop fucking changing it.
Yeah.
The results are, we're not playing the way we really would like to be playing, but if we can get some sort of cohesion, we can start building points. All of a sudden, Alex, we're actually starting to build some points. So,
No, I can't rule out top 4, definitely. What about Chelsea, Christian? They got a win this weekend. 2-0 against Everton. Everton missed some chances in this game. I mean, look, Cole Palmer, massive for him to be back. I know he's been very difficult for him. Way too much football. Club World Cup victim, in my opinion. They won it. He's got 2 in the final, and he's struggled for fitness since because of that bullshit tournament that they had to play. But they did win it, and he scored in the final. So maybe it's worth it. But no, shout out Palmer. Obviously, we want him back. We want him back for England as well. Like a bit of a maverick player as well. Another one that doesn't care about the data. He got off the mark. Pedro Neto got a second as well. Everton, they just lack attackers, don't they? Like Grealish missed a good one at the back post. Barry and Beto don't convince Christian.
The Chuckle Brothers, Barry and Beto. Yeah, look, I think Everton have actually got like a decent side. I really like Jude.
Very solid.
I've always liked Jack Grealish, but I've also always highlighted Jack Grealish's shortcomings. Now, David Moyes is saying he wants Jack Grealish to score more goals. Mate, it's easier said than done. Do you not think one of the best Premier League managers of all time tried to get this happening. It is difficult. The guy is way too hesitant. He gets a chance, he hesitates, he waits, his shots get blocked, or he misses. And he does do this too often, or he overpasses. That was my biggest thing with him. He would get a chance and he would try and give it someone else. It was just too much and it was too recurring. In terms of them as a team, look, if you're an Everton fan, mate, compared to them, we've got one of our best mates is an Everton fan, and they've had some, poor size of late and nearly gone out the league through it. So, it's good for them. They've got Ndai, who's a seriously talented player. I'd love to see him at Man City, by the way. Dewsbury Hall, I think, has been a revelation for them. So, look, it's good for them. But, ultimately, they just fell short. It didn't really trouble too much.
See, my mate Garnacho was at it. Chelsea fans are on Twitter. I'm done with him.
Alex, we said that when we first started it, I remember I posted a show on here and I said, what you will be hoping for, Alex, is it won't be you peddling this bullshit with Garnacho, it'll be Chelsea fans, because he was getting linked to them at that point. And was I right? Yes, I was, because we knew that guy's ability. He is what he is. He's just shit. He is the ultimate of that winger. That genre that is just the horror genre. It's like horror comedy, Alex. I've never been a fan of it. I'm still not, and I think I'd put all them shitty wingers in it.
The Sharknado of footballers.
Sharknado 1, 2, and 3. Fuck me.
In Martinelli.
Yeah, Savinho.
And Savinho. No, look, honestly, I mean, look, he missed an open net, 2 1-on-1s. Shout out, mate. It's the Garnacho experience. You lot paid 40 mil for it. And a shout out to you United fans, by the way, that wanted 70 mil and said keep him. You're just as fucking stupid. That's one thing Amorim did do right. Saw straight through his bullshit. He's crap.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get to the title contenders. We've gone through the pretenders, Christian. We've done City and we've done Arsenal. Let's come to some title contenders. Aston Villa. They are title contenders this season.
Yeah.
They didn't score in the first 3 league games, 4 or 5 league games, they didn't get a goal. And
Unbelievable.
They have now won 10 out of 16. They've now scored 25 league goals and they've only let in 17. They've got a defensive record that is very impressive. I think they've got a fantastic spine. I don't know what was going on in them first 5 games. And let's be honest, Christian, if they had their shit together to start the season, they would be top of the league right now. I know you can say everybody can point at, like, City can go the Tottenham game and Arsenal can go the fucking Sunderland game. But Villa were so bad to start the season. Emery was under pressure, Christian. If they were just par, 6 out of 10, they would now be top of the Prem, mate.
I think, it's a shit. They were just slow out the blocks. I don't know, whether their pre-season was bad or whether they even had one. I don't even know. But they were just uncharacteristically bad at the start of the year, and it has cost them. It saved everyone else's arse. I do agree with you. Villa of recent, I think they're a great team, man. I love Tielemans. Tielemans is one of my favourite players. I think he is superb. I really like how athletic they are. I think they've just got a perfect balance in that side, man. And then you've got them players where sort of kind of a bit of the model that Newcastle sort of used in terms of how strong the midfield is. They've also 100%. Been allowed to give Morgan Rogers that freedom, and we've seen how devastating he can be. God, I'm gutted we lost him, by the way, came through our academy. What a player. I don't mind it, mate. I like a competitive league, and I like to see a team that you wouldn't usually see up there competing. So I think it's a fresh perspective. I really like it. I thought Villa, in the last few games, they've looked great. They're playing with no fear, playing with no inhibition. They're just going for it, and it's great to see, man. What do you think, though, in terms of do you actually think they could keep some sort of legs in this?
I don't. No, I don't. I'm tongue in cheek. They're mathematically in a title race, and I do feel like going back to my initial point on the start of the season. I've got their first league games up now, Christian. They started the season with a 0-0 draw against Newcastle at home. The second game, they lost 1-0 to Brentford. The third game, they lost 3-0 to Palace. The fourth game, they drew 0-0 to Everton. They didn't score a goal for 4 games, and they got 2 0-0s out of it and lost the other 2. Now, like I said, if they took 4 points from their first 4 league games, which, let's be honest, isn't setting the world alight, and Aston Villa right now would easily get that from those fixtures. If they got 4 points from the first 4 games, they would be top of the league. And I just think about when Leicester did it, Christian. They were top, and they were like, okay, let's try and stay there. Let's try and stay there. We'll be top at Christmas. We'll be top in Jan. Oh my God. Transfer window ends. Now they've got a 4-point lead, and Leicester like, maybe we can fucking do this. I just think Villa had to be top and really flying to do it. And I do think City have got that. I'm not saying you're going to do 12 wins in a row. I don't think you're going to do that, but I also think you're going to be better than I thought. And I think City are going to be like, they might win 9 out of 11.
Yeah.
You might be in the middle of that run now, to be fair. Or you might do that in March, April. And I don't think they can withstand that, Villa, unfortunately. However, they're my bet for third, mate. And I think Morgan Rogers, honestly, will, another 2 at the weekend.
What a strike,
stonker, man. I just think, like you said, I think they are a very good team. Okay, let me ask you this, right? Let's go into the transfer window in January. Can Emery go to the board and say, get me a striker? I'm 3 points off first.
I was literally going to say the same thing to you, right? So yeah, I think they are lacking a strike. Unfortunately for them, Ollie Watkins has fell off a little bit.
Okay.
And it's come at a bad period. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because the one area they seemed blessed in when they had John Duran and then they had Ollie Watkins fighting, and then obviously Duran left and Watkins is kind of where he's at in his career. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully, if he could bounce back for them, you never know. But yeah, mate, if they went and got a legitimate 9, but how hard is that to do? Like everyone's been trying. City got the golden ticket in Erling Haaland. He wanted to go to Manchester City because of his dad, and we won that one. But how hard is it to get a number 9, bro? Like,
Unai Emery goes to the board and he goes, go and get me Darwin Núñez till the end of the season.
I like that. I really like that. Yeah, 100%. But the thing is,
introduce some chaos. When the Joker.
Liverpool fans are missing it, bro. I've heard a lot of Liverpool fans now, though. I saw Craig on Anfield Agenda, man, and he was saying that because he made a claim like a long time back, saying that Darwin Núñez, he would rather have Darwin Núñez than Alexander Isak. They then went and signed Isak. Darwin Núñez is gone. He said he stands by it. Do you know what? Right? I get his point. I'm not saying that Darwin Núñez is a better footballer. Obviously, I'm aware he's not. Isak far superior, but sometimes, Alex, it's about what that player brings to the side. Does that suit? Does the chaos suit the rest of them? And sometimes it fucking does.
It's like the Joker when he's in the hospital with Harvey Dent, and he gets Harvey Dent to hold the gun to his head and says, "Introduce some chaos." Does Unai Emery do that with the board and say, "Go and get me fucking Núñez, and let's just see, can Núñez get me 10 goals from January?" Cause some utter chaos. And this is the thing, he might be rubbish and he might not get one. But you're playing with house money here. You're probably going to come third anyway. Look at the league, mate. Who's going to come fucking third? What, Chelsea, United, Liverpool are going to jump
I'll tell you what, Alex, one thing I will say, and we didn't really touch on this in terms of like league expectations with Chelsea, but I think Villa are coming above Chelsea this season, regardless of whether they go and get a 9. I think Villa are a much better team. They're better balanced. Chelsea have thrown a lot of shit at the wall and a bit of it has stuck, but a lot of it is sliding down and don't look too pretty. So,
out of interest, what's their fixtures? Because with Arsenal, they're just playing so dross. I don't think it matters who they're playing. It's going to be a struggle. City will beat everybody at home and will win most away games. Villa, fixtures can be good for Villa because they're immense at home and away from home. They do need a few West Hams. They do need a few of them nice fixtures, Christian, over Christmas. Let's go through it. Oh, God. Villa. I've got United at home on Sunday. Right.
Well, they've got a fucking banker coming up, though.
So they're still in the title race Sunday evening. We can confirm that. They've then got Chelsea away. Oh, God. They've got United, Chelsea and Arsenal next 3. Look, right, if they can come out of that within 3 points of whoever's top, we think it'll be City.
If they do, they're in a title race.
Because then, Christian, it opens up a little bit, mate. Then you've got Forest, Palace, Everton, Newcastle. Now you're into mid-table games, and Villa beat them all at home. Villa beat City and Arsenal at home, mate. So
yeah, they've been relentless. I feel like they're some big fixtures, aren't they? And they always fare well at the Emirates, and usually we do put them away at the Etihad, but it goes close to the wire a lot of the times. We've nearly slipped up against them a few times, even going back to the Grealish days when they had him. You know what I mean? They're a tough side. I think where they need to be consistent. I hear what you're saying, by the way. They will put most teams away at home, if not all of them. But when they're going away, it's them Bournemouth away, them Palace away, and that's why, Alex.
West Ham was a skiddy one, mate. On Sunday, they got out of jail,
and that's where I just feel ultimately they will come up short because that difference with the top teams. It's like when Pep first came in. and obviously it was a poor first season for us. And then the next year he was like going to the guys. They did the documentary, and he's like, Burnley back then were a decent Premier League side, and he was saying like how he hated going there and stuff like that. But it shows the importance, Alex, to be that top club that takes the Premier League. You need to just tick over and get these wins at them grounds effortlessly. And I do think that would be a stretch too far. But, mate, the fact we're even talking about them in this breath, if we have got any Villa fans, please leave us a comment. Let us know how you're feeling, because I can't imagine any of you are going to be too disgruntled, even if you did go on to win it. It's amazing that you're in this conversation.
No, I really want to... I might clip this and post it as a separate video, this little segment on Villa, because I really like this to reach some Villa fans, and then let us know in the comments and see what they think, because... speaking of putting a gun to your head, Joker, Harvey Dent, if Victor Lindelof and Jadon Sancho get winners' medals this season for the Premier League, get the gun and point it at my head and pull the fucking trigger.
That is great. Oh, God, the thought of that.
Tongue in cheek. Okay, Christian. Shout out Villa, man. Roll on Sunday. I have no idea what to expect. I mean, we are the Darwin Núñez of teams, so it's going to be chaos, I can promise you that. Okay, look, this is like match of the day running time. I tell you what, it would have been tough, because this weekend there was some great games. Mate, there was a fucking derby. Is it Northeast, Tyneside? Whatever the derby is. Bro. Come on, our mate Ryan, if he's watching this. Sunderland beat Newcastle. What a season these are having. They are the story of the season. In an era where promoted clubs yo-yo and go straight back down, for them, well, I mean, look, at what point do you say they're in for Europe?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if Villa are in a title race, Sunderland are in for Europe, right, Christian?
Yeah, and Alex, the thing is, they're not out. I don't get the feeling like they're on a good run, or that they're lucky. Like, they don't seem out the depth. Like, at the end of the day, they give City a game. I know that the result looks a bit easier, but if you actually sat down and watched the full game, they compete every single week. It doesn't matter who. I never see them floundering. They've done well at Stamford Bridge. They came to the Etihad. They give us a game. They have one-on-ones.
Yeah.
I just don't think... Do you know what? The only game I actually thought they were terrible in was actually Old Trafford, and they really didn't turn up.
Very surprising, Christian.
But I think, honestly, full credit. And it's you know what? It's a message to these teams that come up. It really is. You know, come up with a little bit of fight in you. A little bit of fight in your belly that you want to stay in this league. You want to make a dent on it, because they fucking are, mate. And they could do some things this year. Do you know what? And Ryan won't like this. Shout out, Ryan. You've been, obviously a great friend of the channel. But I was glad to see them get that win, because I feel like they needed it. You know, they've been out the league a long time. And I just feel like the way they're approaching games, I'm glad to see it, man. It's really good to have Sunderland back.
Yeah, no, and can we just have a little bit of a word on Granit Xhaka, who am I pound for pound signing of the season? And I think it's a massive lesson to your promoted teams. This is how you go shopping. Find an experienced Premier League player. Brentford, everyone had them going down 20th. Go and get me Jordan Henderson. Yeah. People don't love Jordan Henderson. I don't love Jordan Henderson. I tell you what, he's been key for Brentford, Christian.
Yeah.
But Granit Xhaka, he has been the sign of the summer, in my opinion. And if they come top 8, I think he deserves to be in team of the season. Unbelievable signing and a leader, and that is what you do. Fair play to the guy.
I think, it's frustrating because he probably won't get the recognition he deserves, but we will certainly give him his flowers, and I do agree with you. I think he has been so important to the way they're playing. I mean, how high they press up the pitch, and Xhaka dictates. You know what I mean? He has been brilliant.
You see it for Switzerland, don't you? You see, obviously, we saw him for Arsenal, and he was not loved there. And when you saw him for Switzerland, you saw a different player, and you're seeing the Switzerland version.
Like that one now,
brilliant. And Reinildo, obviously, another fantastic pickup. Enzo Lafave, pretty decent as well. Isidore, honestly, fair play to Sunderland, man. Look, massive concerns for Newcastle, obviously. They're 12th, mate. They're 12th in the Prem.
I think that obviously they were hoping they'd made some sort of, turned a corner, and then, especially when they had that great result at Everton, and then it's really gone back. And there's a few problems at Newcastle. I think they're conceding too many goals ultimately. I mean, Voltemada, obviously a bit of a nightmare for him. You know, you don't want your first derby. It's a vicious derby, that one as well. It's not one you want to be leaving your mark on with an OG, mate. Not when you're the fucking striker as well.
You know, Newcastle fans in the boozer before that game on Sunday were like, Voltemada 1-0 header.
Yeah. Oh God, oh mate, you know it, don't you? Well, you were right, John.
Imagine them in fucking pub after. I fucking meant the other net, you dick. Nah, mate. Look, it's great, and also a shout out. Finally, they have a way. Me and my brother here are both colourblind. Shout out to them actually fucking putting one of Sunderland or Newcastle in their away kit. I could actually tell the difference, so fucking thank you. Right, we've got a few more, man. This has been fun. This is the first time we've done this. We might need to try and split it, shorten it, footnotes. We just love talking about footy. But this has been great, Christian. Let's come to fucking Tottenham Hotspur, man. They are now floundering in 11th after winning their first 2 games of the season. They pumped you at City in the second game. I don't think they're really vibing with Frank. I don't really know why. The team is on the post-Kane and Son era now. I don't know their expectations. I don't know what Spurs fans want from this. Kulusevski's missed all season. Son's gone. Kane's gone. What are they wanting? Yes. And now you've got this Vicario self-destruct button. What on earth is he doing? He is giving goals away every half an hour, Christian. He was at it again on Sunday.
Yeah, his decision making is just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, what is he doing giving the ball in that situation?
Poor Archie Gray, man.
You talk about a hospital pass.
Oh.
I mean, this guy, and then running out the other week, and he's in that position, he's bollocking everyone else. Don't get me wrong, I mean, Tottenham are so thick. The defenders could have just stopped the goal by going to the line. But, mate, you shouldn't have done what you did. You're the core of the problem.
You're the fucking goalkeeper.
Yeah, God, the minimum is that you stand between the posts. You know,
and by the way, if you run 40 yards out and give it away, you sprint back.
Even Onana had that bit down. It was just everything else he couldn't do.
Quick one. Yeah, sorry, mate. You want to just finish up on Tottenham? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it was. I think Tottenham are struggling. They just seem lost at sea. They don't seem to have any direction or any sort of patterns of play under Frank. I think he's struggling to implement. I don't really know what he wants to do. I really don't. I don't see with Tottenham that I see like a direction they're going in, or I see what he's trying to achieve. So, mate, being honest, look, I'm not trying to insinuate he should go or anything like that, but as a fan, you want to see that your club's going in a direction and you can go, right, you know what, if he gets someone there and he gets someone there, I can see how this could work. I really don't know what he's doing. So I'd hope that he does, but I don't see it. Do you?
Not really. They miss Kulusevski massively, which is an acceptable thing to say. Kulusevski's their best player, right? I don't think. I mean, Kudos had a hot start, but I don't think you can hang your hat on him creating and scoring at the rate they need. They've lost Son and Kane, Christian, and Maddison, and Kulusevski. He's going with this solid. The worst thing about Thomas Frank is he's going with this flat midfield three: Palhinha, Sarr, these workhorses, Bentancur, and they're getting diced open like barbecue chicken, mate. And that's the problem. I'm thinking at least when Andrew's getting pumped, he had fucking 7 attackers on the pitch. Like, Frank's trying to go solid, and they're getting chopped up, mate. Okay,
I'm hoping we play him first. We might actually beat him for once.
yeah. That's it. Your turn their season round.
I know that'll be it. We'll be the stop of the rock, won't we? But Christian, just a shout out as well, mate. Honestly, I thought Forest were brilliant. A couple of real standout performers in that game as well. I thought Sangari was fantastic. Hudson-Odoi, fucking hell. That was an unbelievable performance. I thought he's squaring his man up, dropping a shoulder, beating him, causing chaos, putting some really good crosses in. Oh, he put in one that good that it went in. So
that's your mate back at it. Look, they're now 16th. They've won 3 of the last 5. Sean Dyche is a solid Premier League coach. He's got them playing his football. He went on the overlap last year and said if he came into United for Ruben Amorim, play 4-4-2, he'd get better results, and people laughed at him. He's fucking true. And
why would anybody think that's a controversial comment?
It's a damning, because United fans think Ruben Amorim's the second coming of Christ, and obviously he isn't. But no, look, fair play to him, and fair play to the Forest fans. You spoke up, you were pissed off with Ange. Not all Ange's fault. It was a it was just a mental appointment going from Nuno to Ange, and then now obviously you've gone back to Dyche. He's more Nuno than Ange, and all of a sudden you're getting results. You mentioned Hudson-Odoi, fantastic performance, and the clean sheets are coming, Christian. And this is the thing.
Dyche comes with that, doesn't he? He tightens things up. To be fair, they look better going forward. I mean, Forest was so poor, weren't they? They were poor all over the field, so he has improved literally every aspect of the way they're playing. It's good to see. It's good to see, to be honest, for them. I think they've done well. I mean, their owner, like I said to you, Alex, he does come under a lot of criticism, but if you're a Forest fan, I bet all of them love him. I know they would have disagreed with the whole Ange situation and Nuno going. They would be a bit pissed off at that. But in terms of does that guy care about the club and doing what's best for the club, 100%, man. You know what I mean? Gibbs White, whether he did chain him to the radiator or not, he kept their best player. So
exactly, and they're gonna probably finish mid-table now and have a fun season. And I tell you what, Dyche's Forest will be a tough out in the.
That's going to be a bit of a nasty
conference in the Conference League. Is it the Conference League or whatever they're in? Europa, fuck knows. But whatever they're in, they're going to be a tough out over 2 legs, assuming they get through the group stage. We've got 2 games left. One was the most lacklustre Super Sunday. I love watching football.
Just before, I've just got a question for you. You know, on Dyche. So obviously he's a bit of a short-term contract, and there was rumours that their owner has some sort of relationship. I think it might have been with the Fulham coach.
And
I think there was something there that he wanted in, but which is a bit strange. But what would you do in terms of if they, do what Dyche does? They have a solid season. Would you give this guy a chance at actually a bit of a project rather than him just always being this guy that maybe puts the wheels back on? What about giving this guy a bit of a go?
I think, look, Ange is surely the harsh lesson learned for the owner of Forest. With the shiny new attacking toy. Do not go Marco Silva. You'll be back to where you were 6 weeks ago. You need a solid coach who gets the club, gets the principles. We spoke about Nunes for Liverpool before. It's a better fit. It's a better fit, and that's what it's all about, in my opinion. And look, I think he's going to get the season because he's come into a team that was going to get relegated under Ange. So
you are right.
Yeah.
You are right, Alex. It's not always about this. Again, it just goes back to this football by data bullshit. Oh, I like the way they play.
Do you not think they played quite well on Sunday?
I bet West Ham don't give a fuck that they went and won a European trophy. I bet they didn't give a shit what they were playing.
Did you not think Forest played pretty good football on Sunday, though?
I did. I'm just saying that's the consensus.
I'm not meaning you specifically. I mean, the general consensus is Dyche, boring, 4-4-2, lump ball. I thought they were pretty fucking ruthless on Sunday and battered Tottenham into oblivion.
Exactly. I think we're seeing it. It's a bit of a myth.
What more do you want?
It's a bit of a myth, isn't it? And it's like when when City used to go direct, which we did quite often, by the way. Even when we had Aguero, we went direct through Edison and Aguero. But like when Pep does it, it's glamorous. He's switching it up. Yeah. If Dyche does it, it's like, it's Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce.
You know what I mean? There's just always, unfortunately, you're beaten with the stick. But no, I'd give this guy a chance. I'd love to see Dyche given an opportunity where he could do like a something in Europe or get a trophy, because it's not it's not always the prettiest ones that can get a European trophy over the line or something like that. So give this guy a chance.
Where are they in Europe? They're going to qualify. They're 11th, so they're going to get a playoff probably. And they'll be a tough out. Fucking hell, Villa are in there as well. Europa League for us. So I tell you, it'd be interesting to see how Dyche does over that, because if they can get steady in the Prem, 12th, 11th, put all your eggs in that Europa League, I tell you, they could get to the quarters, man. Dyche will be a poor man Simeone in that tournament. And I mean that with all the respect in the world. Okay, 2 games left. Look, if there's any Brentford and Leeds fans got to this point of the video, shout out you, by the way. But we ain't going to spend long talking about it because it was fucking dire. I will watch most football. I've got a football YouTube channel with my brother, so I want to watch as much as I can. However, when I was watching the defensive Leeds head it to the defensive Brentford, back and forth for around 75 seconds in the first half, I switched it off. No, joking. It was fucking dire, man. Shout out Calvin Lewin, 4-in-4. Great turnaround for him. No idea why Everton let him go and went all in on the Chuckle Brothers, Barry and Beto. But here we are. Christian, do you want to talk about anything? Jordan Henderson, we mentioned before. Great pick-up. Brentford have been better than we expected. Have we missed anything?
No, I think you've covered all bases. Really, it's no. Look, yeah. I mean, I do think there's a few things. Yeah, Henderson's been a fantastic pickup, and I think this is a direction that, like you said, Premier League. These clubs that come into the Premier League, or even the ones that are on the cusp of maybe getting relegated or they're in a battle, they need to start looking at this. That Premier League experience, them solid players. Yeah, they might not be we'll gamble with 30 mil from Brazil on some guy we've never heard of. Sometimes it's just better to go and pick some guy up on a free that you know is going to be a solid 7 out of 10. Look what Brighton did with Milner. How long they got out of that guy. And we were all he's at the end of his career. How long did they fucking get? Do you know what I mean? So
Great shout, man.
And I think there's a few ones like that, but Calvert-Lewin, man, it's a bit of a crazy situation, isn't it? I think him leaving Everton apparently was due to a contract dispute that he wanted quite a lot of money, and he thought he would get that money elsewhere. I don't think he got as much as he was wanting. So I feel like, did it really suit him, the move? It's a shame, isn't it? He's got his fitness back.
Yeah.
Everton, like, as a club, will be kicking themselves thinking, what are we lacking the most? We're lacking a competent number 9. He could certainly do a job in there now. You've got Jack Grealish, you've got Ndiaye, you've got Dewsbury all in behind. It would be a kind of a mouth-watering situation. And then you've got Leeds who, does that suit him? Would he rather be playing at Leeds? To me, it makes no sense. But yeah, look, it was a good pickup from Leeds. I think smart business. And yeah, let's see where that can go. If he can keep fit, Alex, how many realistically do you think he can get?
Yeah, I think 17's on the cards for Calvert-Lewin, which is fucking insane. And he'll keep him up. Another team that's full of goals, last but almost least. Burnley Fulham, the Saturday evening game, 5:30. Fulham get a 3-2 win after the chaos ball against Manchester City. They are obviously going for the goals. You mentioned Marco Silva. He plays a good brand of football. But 3-1 up, coasting home, they nearly tossed it away. And Burnley should have got a 3-all out of it. So that's the type of coach he is. And Fulham are fun to watch, but mate, they're gonna ship some. They're gonna score some. In fact, what's their defensive record?
I mean, it can't be good in the last couple of games, can it? Going off them, but
goals against 26. Manchester United 26.
I was just gonna.
So
I love how we're looking at. It wasn't even meant as that, and we're looking for a team that could possibly be worse. No, United.
Man United have got the same defensive record as Fulham.
Yeah, I think Fulham. It's weird, and they've got some good players, and on the day they can really roll it out a little bit.
What do you make of Bassi? Player in there?
Yeah, I like Bassi. Yeah, it's I like a few of them, to be honest. They've got a couple of wingers as well that, like, when they come on and they're on the day, they can really be on it. Kevin, like a young Brazilian guy.
Kevin didn't even play Kevin.
He was actually pretty exciting. I mean, I've only seen him a few times.
I
like the young lad as well. The one that got that very harsh goal disallowed against Chelsea.
Josh King.
Josh King, is it? Yeah, Josh King. And then but the big shout out from this game for me was Harry Wilson. I thought he was superb.
Just they've got loads of them little diminutive little forwards who all seem to crop up with a goal across. Like you said, they've got explosive dribblers. The best player for me, and this goes in, he's in the Xhaka and the Henderson category for me, is Sander Berge. I ain't ever seen this guy have a bad game. I remember United were linked with him before Fulham got him. And United Twitter's fucking exploding. Get us Casemiro and put him on $1 million a week. Sander Berge plays for Burnley, not the most fashionable player. I don't think he's had a bad game for Fulham. And I honestly wonder what your Fulham fans and Marco Silva think about him and what he's worth. Because I tell you what, if you tested the water with them, you'd get an idea of the valuation for Sander Berge. I think he's just a top player. I think he reads it really well. I think he's a very, very good DM.
I agree. I think he's composed under pressure. He's physical, athletic. Honestly, he's got everything. It's a strange one, isn't it? I feel like these players sometimes get overlooked, don't they? But Fulham will be absolutely delighted with that. They won't want anyone sniffing around, will they? At the end of the year, we would find out the valuation, but unfortunately, someone might pay it and then they lose him. So
Nah, don't worry. United ain't going to go for him. It makes too much sense. We'll be eyeing up a little washed-up Real Madrid midfielder, I reckon.
Modric, 800 grand a week.
Kroos and Ramos on a fucking joint deal, probably.
Ramos would just be the most United thing to do.
100%.
They wanted him years back, didn't they?
We did. We love a bit of that, yeah.
So,
okay, weekend roundup, game week 16 done. First time we've done an episode like this. Let us know in the comments if you've made it to this part of the video. We'll try and chop it up a little bit in the future. We just have a lot to talk about, and United was a mega game. City was a huge win. So we might maybe cut City United out and do them in a separate episode, Christian, and give a proper look at the rest of the league, because I enjoyed talking about the other 18 teams for the first time on this YouTube channel. If you like the video, hit a like, subscribe. Let us know in the comments who you support, what your team did at the weekend, and we will see you on the next one. Christian, thank you for joining me, mate.
All right, bro. Cheers, mate.